Hello everyone. In this video, I'll show you how to convert human specification into unit test scenario. This is one of our previous activities where I told you to take our Java review quiz and convert print-based test into unit case-based test. Okay. Little background. In this Java review quiz, we told you what to do. For example, we told you to create 2 books, then check out 2 checkouts on book 1. We also mentioned that your checkout function should return true, and then some check-in, check-out, and it goes on. On my right hand side, we have sample implementation. As I look out our print statement, I need to verify whether your code is working or not by manual inspection. So I read, the first checkout is true. Specification says it should return true. Then the second checkout should return true, and the code is returning true, so maybe the code is working. Same thing, it goes on for all other specification and the manual inspection. Okay. This print-based testing is good for intro 100 level programming course. As we are in 300 level, this is clearly not scalable. We don't want to engage our visual cognition or our manual effort by reading someone's output and checking whether it's following the specification. It's just too much work. What we can do instead, we create unit test and do the testing through software. So here is how. Under your test folder, we need to create a new Java class. It could be anything. Here I already create one. I named it quiz test. So this is my quiz test class. And then this is the generic test function at this point. Again, doesn't matter what you call it. Test the quiz. The only thing we need to follow here, to make any test function, any function as a test function, we had to add ampersand. So I did that in my current implementation. Let me split my screen. Okay. All right, so this part is interesting. First, I copied all the specification here. I named them 1 to 13, and then translate each spec one by one. First spec says, let me zoom in a little bit. Yeah. First spec says create 2 books, 3 copies for the first book, 1 copy for the second one. So book 1, 3 copies, book 2, 1 copy. Spec 1 checked. Then the spec says call checkout on the first book. So book 1 checkout. Since we need to validate the result of our checkout functions, I stored them in a temporary variable result1. Spec 3, do the same with a different name. So I did it. The result, I stored it in result2. Now the spec 4, it says ensure that both of these return true. So our true is the ground truth or the expected result. We know how to translate ground truth and the expected result into an assert equation. So very simple, assert equals expected true from the spec, and the result, this is the one that function book 1 checkout returns at line 30. Same thing, the second result came from the second checkout, line 33. Okay, so we convert our natural language based specification into unit test assertion. Okay, it will go on. It says now check in the first book. Yes, check in. I save the result. Check in the first book again. same thing sort of. Spec 7 says ensure that both the first result is true, the second is false. So true coming from the first true, false is the second false in the spec. So you probably see the conversion from natural language specification into unit test specification is pretty straightforward. Okay, I'm skipping the remaining part. Let me run this test. Okay, so here all of my assertion passed, which means the code we implemented in the past is valid. Now I'll tell you what happened if I implement the code in a different way, or maybe I made some mistake. Let's go back to my previous book clause. Here, during checking out, I'm checking if the available number of copies are available. So true, otherwise false. What if I return true? It's a mistake. It's a human mistake, like a human error. Okay. This time, if I run my app again, it's very hard to see the error from the printout. But if I run my automated test, let's see. There you go. It will say it failed at some point. The expected result was true, but the expected result was false, and the actual result is true. So my code has some issues, and that's what we like. I hope you get the sense why we shouldn't do print-based testing ever. Instead, we should start focusing on unit test or automated measure. Goodbye.